I guess I'll start with my own story. My background, I've been doing all sorts of activism my whole life, but my background was specifically more in sustainability, environmental activism, and sustainable agriculture in particular was where I was before voting reform directly. So I got involved with my local chapter. I started doing outreach, sending emails, giving presentations. Pretty early on in the process, I came across the field of election science. There are a lot of people out there who have been studying this topic for years, and I knew a lot about the problem intuitively and through research. I knew a lot about community organizing because of my background, and I thought I knew a lot about just the voting theory of why do we want this voting method? I started out as a ranked choice voting advocate. And so I was, I had my talking points, but it was really a wake up call when I realized a lot of my talking points were kind of oversold. I think a lot of us have been taught, never say always, never say never, unless you can really back it up. So claims like, what is vote splitting? Does ranked choice voting eliminate vote splitting? And getting into that nitty gritty required me to do a whole bunch more homework. And I launched into these forums, the Election Science Forum in particular, and Google group early on. And I pretty quickly realized I was the only female that I could see. I was the only non-programmer as far as I could tell, or pretty much everyone else was male and deeply versed in programming or had a mathematics PhD or a statistics PhD, or just clearly had a really technical command of the topic. And so I actually had to do some soul searching to get over my imposter syndrome to be even comfortable chiming in. And there were reasons I wanted to chime in. There was a lot in terms of the lens of the movement in general that was just focused on debating this esoteric theory and was really disconnected with the movement on the ground or actually trying to get anything done whatsoever, that I found pretty appalling. It was very armchair activism, where whether or not this derails what we're doing, we're just debating it because it's a really interesting topic. And I'm a science lover, love science, love debate. So I'm totally get sucked into that as well. And I apologize if I've ever sucked any of you into that, people who are watching. But I felt it was really important to reframe the movement and actually take some of this brilliant science and math, some of their findings, distill it down into something actionable and actually put it to use. So that's been really my focus the entire last 5 years that I've been involved, is trying to translate election science into election reform and translate the talking points into something accessible that we can understand, that we can repeat and share, and trying to make it so that other people who launch into this like I did, kind of clueless of how deep the theory side went, don't get scared off and do end up participating. Because I think I'm probably top 99th percentile in terms of stubbornness and not caring what other people think, but not everyone has that skill set.